Tom Hanks story. First, I need to get comfortable. And now, I'm going to first say that Tom Hanks was one of my first heroes when I saw him in Big. That was it. That's what I wanted to be, right? If you saw Big when you were a kid, you wanted to be that kid who all of a sudden grows up and gets old overnight, and then you have this dream job where you are a toy designer, dude. You get to design toys and you make all of this money and you live in this sick loft. I forgot if it was New York or Chicago, maybe San Francisco, because FAO Schwartz was in it. Doesn't matter. You wanted to be Tom Hanks's character in Big, and then everything else he did was sensational. Such a good actor, I don't need to say anything. All of his accolades are in this. So, having said all that, I ruined Tom Hanks's day once. I don't know if that's overstating it, and I'm curious if this story will ever get back to Mr. Hanks. That would be really cool one day, if it did, so I can find out if he even remembers this, or if it did affect him, so I can personally apologize for my actions on that day. And now I'll tell you what actually happened. That's enough setup. In early 2000s, sometime in the early 2000s, I'm going to guess 2000, maybe 2000, I'm going to say 2001. My friends and I were in Chinatown, Los Angeles. I was going to say Little Tokyo, but I think it was actually Chinatown because it had all of the architecture, yeah, and there was the comic shop. At the time, I smoked cigarettes. I do not anymore. Don't worry, I don't smoke anymore. And we were at a comic shop in Chinatown. My friends were inside the comic shop. I was standing outside the comic shop with one of my feet on the wall as I smoked a cigarette like Mr. Cool Guy. I think I may have even had a leather jacket at the time. I was trying to be like Rudy from the Monster Squad. I was the cool guy. Anyway, all of a sudden I see this family walking through the courtyard toward me, toward our area, actually. They were just going to pass through. They weren't walking toward me personally, just in my direction. And it was somewhat desolate. That's why I actually noticed them, just to be cordial, to nod, to say hello. And I found them to be familiar. There was something about this family. I couldn't put my finger on it. I noticed the lady first, actually. The lady looked very familiar to me. And I was like, who is that lady? Who is that? And then I look at the guy who has a kid on his shoulders at the time, walking with the rest of his family, and it's Tom Hanks. Okay, and the lady was Rita Wilson, his beautiful wife, and that's why I recognized her as from her work as well. I believe she acts and does a lot of stuff. And he sees me, I see him. He acknowledges that I know who he is by doing this. Nods at me to suggest, yes, I know you know who I am. Please don't make a scene. I'm with my family right now, and I don't need any kind of attention. I'm on one of my days off, just trying to experience Chinatown with my family, so let's just be cool about this. That's what he communicated to me through his nod at me, and I, in return, nodded back. I got you, bro, as if to say, it's okay, we're cool, we can be cool here. He walks past about 10 feet. I immediately turn, with the cigarette still in my hand, in shock, walk into the comic shop and blurt out, Tom Hanks is outside, everyone. Tom Hanks is outside. Everyone in the comic shop emptied out and circled and swarmed Tom Hanks and his family after I said that. after I said that. I did that after a nod agreement, a bond you do not break with another person. I immediately broke it and can only assume caused, if not an entire ruining of his day, at least great displeasure for an hour. And Mr. Hanks, if you remember that, or me, I apologize. I have never forgotten it, and I feel terrible about having done that. Ugh. Anyway, that's the story. He's an awesome act. That's what I'm going to leave it on. I ruined it. I ruined the ending of this video by injecting my Tom Hanks story, even though I couldn't love that guy more.